Video update. It's been 7 hours since I've last had solid food. I'm dizzy. I can't think. I think I'm consuming my body internally. I think I have consumption. They might have to induce me in a coma tomorrow. I don't know. It's just not working out for me. Well, I'm gonna have a colonoscopy. I can't pronounce that word tomorrow. So we're not working anything important. So yeah, filming with the iPad today because I'm too lazy to go inside the house and get my phone. Anyhow, you may remember the sand cat. So she's a little belt sander. And problem is that this piece here, she'd be wiggling a lot. And so I tore it apart. So I had to take the handle off, the motor out, Hi, puppy. That's puppy. And of course the little brushes went flying everywhere. So they just go under there, and there's little pieces there. Yeah, that's great. Trigger. Then once I got the top out, I could remove this piece. Well, I had to remove the gear here from here. And then I was able to remove the shaft here only by popping a little tiny clip that was on the end of this. Long story short, she broke. And the part that's broken off is, help me understand, right in here. This piece here is supposed to be attached to here. So this clearly broke. So we'll definitely keep on the cable because that's a handy cable. It's nice shape, and we'll put some of this in the scrapyard. Really cute little tiny bearing here, the other end here. If you can see the little rollers. Yep, iPad does not make a good video camera. So anyhow, it's worth a try. Can't get any parts for this. At best, I could buy a new one on eBay. Maybe find some used parts. So I'll put this in a shoebox for now. But no point in keeping it in the drawer if it ain't gonna work. So that video is kind of good. What you just didn't see because I didn't hit play or record is, well, I'll show you. So the stain's pretty much dry in this. I opened up my can and it was completely dried out from last spring of polyurethane. Looks a lot like that, except it was dry. So I put a spray coat on this. Also, it's better because this still, if you rub hard, the finish is coming off. So we'll put another coat on here. But when I was done, because I got to let that dry, I thought I would, you know, watch some YouTubes while it's heating up in here. It's, well, it's now 66. It's normally 58, and then I shoot the temperature up. Yeah, but that's Georgia spot. That's Spike's spot. But who the fuck is this motherfucker? Dojo? That's my seat. So I'm thinking about getting an upgrade for my car at work. She's got an active alarm system on her Mercedes. I'm impressed. You got me. You got my attention. Well, how come I hit the button? It doesn't.
Okay, here we got it.
Yeah, I mean, y'all are swamped back here, right?
What's up?
You're swamped back here.
I'm waiting for by 4 o'clock. They're late.
I got 10 people.
So it's Friday. Got my coffee at 122 degrees. I know so. That's at 136. But finally getting some action on my snow tires here. It's I've had them on since November and no snow. Well, it's 9:26 and there is nobody but me parking up here for the crews out there. They got some issues. The sidewalk's gonna look clean. That's the important thing. What the hell he's doing over there? Then the big snow truck should come along and clean up these big spots over there. Oh, he's getting an assist. Nice. Nice. Here we go. And I'll fuck around here. I wonder if he's gonna go down the stairs. Nope. Just pop wire. End of days here. Got 3 inches of snow, maybe 2. Gotta take care of the snow. Almost ran into him on the way in. So the saga. Look at the size of this plow. It's like 2 car lanes. Like what? How? Their own vehicles are getting their own way. And then there's a bloater. It was back there somewhere. Just like, why? They got better equipment than my whole village has. I love how they just dumped the snow right here. The guy hit. It's like 3 feet up. Can you get it? Can you get it? Now what are you gonna do with it? Where are you gonna go, buddy? Bobcat. Way overkill even as it is. What? That's gotta be like $100,000. That's like $30,000. Oh, they're all spitting. This is typical. They the little Bobcat that could. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Almost, almost, almost. Oh wait, he's coming to get him. I've seen him push the Bobcat too. There we go. Jesus Christ. Ridiculous. So I've been reading a lot about these speakers. They're the same company that made those. It's called a Fast 8. It's supposed to kind of pair with this nicely. So, whoa, made a hole. And we're gonna mount this. Now this is gonna mount from the back like this. So I'm gonna round over this after I clean it up a little bit, kind of make it look like more like a hole. But yeah, I don't think I'm gonna get that very dusty because I'm doing everything down below, so to speak. So I just I used the old compass, offset this 8 inches, just started the compass around. Then I used the old jigsaw and cut her out. So we're gonna kind of clean that up just a little bit. And because I'm rounding it over, you're not gonna notice little problems like that. Now hopefully I made it plenty big enough for the screws not to come through. So that's like that wide. Yeah, there'll be plenty of meat there for the screw. We're gonna just ease her on over with the router. Not a lot, not too much, just right. Definitely had a little breakout there, so it'll be interesting. Now, I'm not using the crossover with this. I'm just gonna give it full beans on both of these. We'll see how that works out. So, yeah, she's in. I think it sounds better. I mean, I'm gonna have to listen to her for a while. So, I offset it a little bit, not quite sure why. Actually, it looks like it's pretty much centered within that speaker. So I'm gonna duplicate the same thing here. So basically trace the hole with the compass, cut it with the jigsaw, use the round file to kind of make sure the hole's round it over the rounder bit, then slap it on there. One thing that was a little challenging, which I didn't quite do, is it's really hard to center the speaker upside down. I thought I got it, and it looks like I'm a little bit off, but yeah, it's okay. I mean, the part that moves is this part. And hands out. So, I mean, I got plenty of room there. So, hear that? I can't figure out where that's coming from. What pisses me off is when I unplug my Marantz, I believe the sound goes away because I got a separate, amplifier down here that I really don't need that much power. If you asked me how much that weighed, I'd tell you 98 pounds. This thing weighs so much that on the back, there's 2 wheels, so you can drag it forward without dragging it. It literally rolls forward. She is a Rotel and a beast. I can drive pretty much anything with that. Musically, not quite sure. But, yep, so now I'll go take the other one in there. This time I'll take the weights off before I pick it up. That might make it easier. So, of course, you can hear the difference in the speaker sounds from my cell phone to the YouTube to your speaker. I love it when people do that. They make YouTube videos and they play their speakers. You're like supposed to pick up on how good it isn't. Anyhow, that only took 15 minutes because I had all the tools. I knew exactly what I was doing and I knew how to do it, and she's done. Definitely more highs. I'm gonna have to let them play for another, 100 hours to break in, but well, that didn't help. Totally directly wired. I mean, it just shoved the wires in there and they go down there. One thing I had to be aware of is the positive here needs to go to the positive there. Yeah, so they're both little Alitos. Oh, one other thing I found, the box was rattling, which is a little disconcerting. And it turned out that the cap here was rattling. Now the cap's metal, it's steel, so it's magnetic. So it sticks to the magnet, but it was moving around. So I pried it out, which is very difficult because as soon as it got about this far, it went and it stuck to the magnet. Pulled it out, laid a whole bunch of super glue, put some fast activating super glue spray on here. The spray is like a game changer. It's like super glue only sticks to your fingers and nothing else. And then you add the activator, then it, within like half a second, then I just kind of put it on there and twist it a little bit, and then she locked up. So she ain't coming off. Yes, I did put that on a little bit crooked, but who cares? So I guess I should have put it upside right. Match this one. I don't know. So we'll give this a go. These I like the speakers. They're not like overly bright. They don't go in your face. They're pretty mellow. I miss the Maggies, but the Maggies I melted and they were $1,800, now $2,400, and I wasn't going to buy a new pair of speakers for that. I don't know what I want in long term. I'll probably never know what I want long term, but for now, this is a nice little upgrade. These were on sale. They came in a week, which is funny because it took 2 months for those to come. In fact, they were so late, they sent me those as a thanks for waiting, which I made into my center speaker. I think works pretty well. These are 6 inches. These are the 8-inch, and they're the fast. And there's a fast 15, there's a fast 18. I like to have the 18, and I think if I measured this right, if I start here and just, it'd be a pain in the ass to make that an 18, but I'm gonna go with these for now. The specs are very similar. I certainly don't need any more efficiency. I got plenty of wattages. I have 600 watts into 4 ohms, which this is now. That's another thing. The way that I wired this, it's lowered my ohmage, which will put a bigger load in the amp, which I think is a good thing. You do a little exercise it a little bit. So, yeah, well, we'll see how it goes the next week. It certainly can't hurt. Yeah. So this is the Summit County resale habitat. So I've never been here, so this is going to be interesting. It's about a 40-minute drive, though. But then I'm going to stop at the Kent one on the way home. Well, that was a long afternoon of shopping. So at the resale store, the first one, which I bought these for $2 a piece. So they're T8 bulbs, LED. They're pretty bright. It turns out I have one more light in the basement, maybe 2 that still don't have LED. I got this because I've got so many rows of shelving downstairs that you can't see anymore. The light in the center doesn't do anything. So this was cheap. This was $12. And I think I can just plug it into existing light down there. So when I flip the light switch on, it'll turn the light on in the socket. If the socket doesn't have a power plug, I'll put one in. Then I got these, the other resale store. They're just little tiny light bulbs. I got 4 of them. I think I'm going to use them out here because I don't. These are really short. They're even shorter than those, but I think they'll put out as much light, if not more. So, if not, it's $3. Got these. These are router templates because I killed the other one during my routing on the table here. These are for a project coming up. These are little casters. They're going to make a rolling Milwaukee pack-out cart. That's a future project, maybe tomorrow. And then I got some of this because I got gaps and I got cracks. So way up there, there used to be a ceiling there, and the drywall went to the ceiling, and I just wanna seal on that. I did a little bit in the corner over there. It's an outside wall, so I got to get a ladder out. I think I have a gap there. If not, I think I still got some gaps in here along the top, like over there. So I want to fill those bad boys in. I did a lot of filling in over there, and that made a big difference, especially underneath there. Looks like I still got a gap underneath there. So yeah, those were on sale for $4. And stopped at the Salvation Army to donate some stuff, and I got these. These are nice heavy duty jeans. They're a Duluth Trading Company, and they're already pre-broken in. And then what I really went out there is this. So this is Curdy band, and Curdy is for underneath tile. So this cloth will go between the mortar and the floor in the middle, and then so it will be marble, a little bit of mortar, Curdy, a little bit of mortar, floor. And what this will do is this will decouple the floor so the floor can move at a different rate than the tile. Tile doesn't expand much, wood does. Why is that super important? Well, it's going to help eliminate cracks, but more importantly, we heat with the floor. So the floor is constantly expanding and not expanding. Right now the heat's on. I can barely hear the pump running, and the floors are warm. Actually, let's see. Yes, it is on heat, and I don't know what they're warm. I mean, I got bare feet and they're warm. So yeah, so tomorrow we'll be put this stuff together. So I got this one, and then the other one's drying in there, and yeah, we're good to go. I think it's time for a nap. So we got a mini YouTube for Joe. So watching this little LED light from Menards for $12. Plugged her into there. So now you can see everything inside your cabinet. Stuff, top of the cabinet, and that's the battery department. And now that I see it, I want to clean it. Damn it. Yeah, you can definitely tell, well, this is an oranges tint versus a blue tint. These are old-fashioned, about to die fluorescent bulbs, so we'll go ahead and swap those out right now. But these give out a pretty good light, but I have a feeling those are going to put out a much more light. So the good news is these don't require ballast. The bad news is these don't require ballast, and such. I gotta tear the light fixture apart and rewire it so that there's no ballast. The ballast is the part that makes a fluorescent light bulb work. So yeah, hopefully I didn't fry it. I put the light bulb in there and realized, wait, I wonder if I have to convert this. And then I pulled a piece of paper out and looked at it. It's not very clear. I mean, it says works with and without ballast. So yeah, well, it didn't work with the ballast because it didn't light up. But maybe I needed both bulbs in there. I don't know. Hopefully we didn't fry it. So we'll go ahead and rip this apart, rewire it. Well, I think it's brighter. And just taking it all apart, rewiring it so that it's hot neutral on each of the pins back here. It doesn't require it on the other side. I think that's why it didn't work, is it only takes power on one side or something. I don't know. I also washed it. She was quite dirty. She's clean now. So yeah, I really gotta rearrange some things here, make a little better pathways, which was the goal of this, ironically. Thinking about replacing this with something a little more modular like, but It's done. Well, Sunday morning, we're gonna get to this. So this is a scrap piece that I have, and you can see I definitely gonna be coming up a bunch. So I'm gonna flatten this out, but even here, there's a 1/4 inch, which is what we expected. This is the wood, so definitely want to come up. So I'm probably going to be a little high on this side, a little low on that side. Interesting enough, the whole floor is tilted towards me. The bubble is touching there. I mean, it's not way out, but it's definitely out. This looks pretty level. This looks pretty level. Again, it's touching one side. No, it's looking about as good as you're gonna get. So I measured, well, I went to the website and calculated how much stuff I need, mortar, and I need about a pound, so I'm gonna mix 2 pounds. It's kind of rough at this stage to figure out. I'm gonna use the Curdy. I'm gonna be doing both sides. I should pull that off before I start. I have like a 20 minutes on this. So the Curdy specifies a V notch. It's kind of like a V in a squarish way. And a 1/8 or 3/16. This is 3/8-ish. So what's interesting is I don't know why that's a 1/4 inch. They don't specify the. I guess it goes by the depth, not by the. I thought it was the spacing, but it goes by the depth. I don't know the basics. So we'll go ahead and use this, but I'm gonna knock it down for this so that it'll be flat. We'll go ahead and set this, and we'll go ahead and put the thicker layer on top, I guess. I don't know. It's gonna be fun. I haven't done this yet, and then I got this one just to clean up. I have to clean that up first. It'll be a lot easier. For the most part, I don't know what to do here. So I'm using a brick cleaner. And just going over the edge. Just gonna. That one's harder than the other stuff. I was able to clean this up pretty well. So I took along the edge, just gonna flatten it out. Take that little curve out. So we'll go ahead and vacuum. I gotta remove this before I get too far. Yeah, that one definitely's got a big spooge on there. Forgot about that. Well, the good news is it came off. The bad news is I gotta clean that up, and it took off the side piece. So I'm just gonna remove the side piece all along here. We'll figure something out. I think I've got some more grout down there. And it's looking pretty shaky anyhow. Oh, yeah, yeah. I don't know what the intention was here, but that doesn't look like it worked. So we'll go ahead and clean that off. This I'm probably just gonna leave for now and use some grout remover. And that removed a bunch of stuff. So unfortunately, the line's not very straight. So we're definitely gonna pull it back and put a lot of grout in there. I think there's some grout left over downstairs. I'm not sure which grout is which. Christ. It's also tilted right there. That piece. She's not flat. Great. My job's gonna look like shit because other people didn't do theirs. Okay, I think I got this to where I want it. So I've scraped up all the extra cement. Didn't set. It's on the bottom, although maybe I need to hit a little more there. Smooth that out as much as possible. This side's a lot better. Did some more shaving along the grout line and scraped some more of the paint off, and then got that lip off there. More I think about it because I gotta mix it, but the instructions don't say like the water ratio. It says like 4 quarts for a 50-gallon bag. So it really wants you to just mix a lot. And basically you put the water in, and then you put the mortar mix in and mix it until it's like peanut butter. So it's not exact science. I think what I'm going to do is mix a small batch, which is relative because I don't know, I've never mixed it before, and just put the orange stuff down. I'm putting a very thin layer. I'm just kind of pressing it in there. I'm going to let that sit for a while. I should remove that rubber bumper. Got one over here. Do you need to remove that? No, I can slide that in. And then I'm gonna let that set for a few hours, then I'm gonna do the top layer. And while I'm doing that, I'll investigate the grout. I think this is the same grout. There's 3 bags of grout up there, so I'm gonna have to take a look around. This might, I don't know what this is, because I'm definitely gonna have to grout that and smooth things up. That should make it look a lot better. Gonna do a final height check here. Make sure that I know how much I can exceed with that. I'm gonna cut a second piece over there to fit over here. I'm using the threshold as a length adjuster. You know, we'll get to mixing. It should be fun. Oh, and the cleanup, they say just let it dry and throw the bucket out. So, yeah. Of course, I picked a brand new bucket I got out of the side of the highway. Didn't have any motor in it, ironically. It was a Spark of Ingenious. I decided I should try this to make sure it fits. I ended up having to trim off about an 1/8 inch. It just didn't fit. She extends a little bit. I'm not sure. I think I'm okay with that. I don't. This piece is definitely flat. I don't. Yeah, you can see. Enhance. That this goes past the drywall over there. This doesn't. And I think that's why it's offset, which really kind of frustrates me because I don't know how to recover that. So it looks like I'm going to be cutting the tile back over here, which is okay because when I came over here, as expected, that line isn't very straight. So I definitely need to take this hump out. Great. So, yeah. We're gonna do that. That should be fun. That shouldn't be much dust. Fuck. So basically where that black magic marker line is, so going to the drywall here, because notice it's off here. Basically I'm gonna cut along there. It's really thin. It's about 1/8 of an inch down there. I may cut in inside that line so that the blade is a little bit farther. Then over here, we do the same thing, except a lesser bit. This will be easier because it's the middle, basically where that black magic marker line is. So we're gonna take a straight edge, kneel on it, just trim along there. It should be fun. At least it's inside work, because I was outside a few moments ago doing outside work in my shorts, because I'm sweating in here and freezing out there, so that's good. The birds getting that? Yeah, they. The seed, I feel 3 feet the cedar. That one's got plenty. I just like that one more. Probably because of the cats. So yeah, I guess you have to hit play to record the video. So I took the diamond wheel, went across here, took this hump out, and then I came back with 36 grit and kind of cleaned this out. You can see where it went along here and clean that out. I got a little bit of groove I need to take out. The tile, it's, you can tell, enhance. Here, once again, I'm suffering from, you see there's like 1/8 of an inch. Then over here, it's proud. So that's why I took some off over here. Yeah, it's cold out, but I don't want dust. Actually, that's the steam coming in from the dryer. So open the windows, trying to get some air through here. It's really dusty, obviously. I got dust all over me. This was black before. So we're gonna go ahead. That helped a lot. And just finish this up and then hit this one. This one's gonna be really miserable because that's all grout. That's a 1/2 inch of mortar, rather, that I'm just gonna have to slice through. So at least I found another use for all the masks I have. Okay, it's a major pain. It's gonna be spaced out that far. I'm just gonna grout that, and this is gonna be above the tile a little bit. Same thing over here. It's gonna be above, and I'll end up caulking or grouting that line. I got that line pretty straight for what I needed. It sticks out a little bit here, sticks out a little bit there, but it evened up. That was a major pain. There's dust every freaking where, I'm sure. Just have to wash the floors. everywhere. And that was clean before, so yay, but it had to be done. So we're gonna pop these out, have a little breakfast, and go ahead and put the skirty down. So again, I'm gonna put a thin, very thin coat below, embed it, wait a few hours, and then put the final one on there. Ah, for cripe's sake. I got this from work. For engineering purposes only, not for verification. It's a freaking bucket. It's not a calibrated tool that we can't use for production of medical equipment. Well, anyhow, I mixed up about, that much. I used my little paddle wheel, not my big one. I'm gonna hand mix this a little more. And you're supposed to wait 10 minutes. So I got a timer going for 10 minutes. I've wetted the area down, enhance, and waited over there. And we'll give this a few more minutes of mixing and let it go. I don't know why you're supposed to wait 10 minutes, but I am. So I'm gonna put about that much on there, and we're gonna go ahead and press that in. And then that side's already done. So while waiting for the mortar to mix to dry, mastic, whatever you want to call it, for the estate sale. So I got some more Minwax wood conditioner. This lasts forever. I use this one staining the trim. Some finishing wax that might be questionable. This is the trowel I needed 2 hours ago. So it's a V-notch trowel. Got it. Grout cleaner. Basically it's carbide bits that used to clean out the grout line. Paint comb when you're cleaning a brush out with paint. Blend sticks. These are nice when you got trim and you got a hole and you want to fill it, you just use those. Some more finish. I like this antique finish. Still good. Triflow lubricant. There's a cultural thing with that. When I was 14 to 18, I worked at a bike shop, and then I worked a little bit after college there, an occasional. That stuff has a very unique odor, and I like the odor. Liquid wrench, same thing, lubricant. This is a square for when you're building something, you can clamp the pieces to this. So it's called a clampet. So normally there's 4 of them, but I got one. Just an extension screw bit, so you can go pretty far with the long screw and make sure it goes right in. It's handy when you're doing overhead. And didn't need it, but a Barlow knife, which is always handy. So we're gonna go clean this up. And yeah. $8, $7 for all that, so that was a pretty good deal. I mean, that alone was when they bought it, God knows how long ago. They're about $12 now. That was $6. Well, we got temporarily redirected. Apparently the guy who's building wall-to-ceiling cabinets, which I'm capable of doing but not mentally, he's coming tomorrow to install the base, and I think he's doing it early because there's nothing else connected, so that he can measure off the base and figure out the angles and everything. So I did the right thing, and I moved all the crap that Joe had there. That's my shaky hand. Still gotta move some other stuff, but she's coming home today. Meanwhile, there's an air grill. It's great. So originally, this house was heated with coal. And basically, coal is a gravity-fed system. So hot air rises, cold air goes down. So they just put a big hole in the air, would go down to the basement. And then there'd be hot air coming up somewhere. I think actually it's right here is where one used to be. Because this room and this was all 2 different rooms at one point. There's a girder right through here. Anyhow, so I want to fill that in. If anything, because I can't do it easily later. So I'm going to put some 2x4s underneath so that there's something to lay on, and hammer on this side. And then I'm going to do the same thing on that side. We're going to use our big ass screw bits and our pet driver. There should be enough room, barely, to, yeah, will be plenty of room to get that in there. So we're going to go ahead and do that. Then I've got, not lots, but I have some of the original flooring for here. One challenge is whoever cut that didn't exactly do it very straight. Probably heating and cooling person. You see how it's like janky over there. And you see the tongue sits there. So basically I'm gonna have to cut this and put a clean straight cut, and then take a little tiny piece with the tongue along there. And then I can nail that in, and I don't know. I'm not terribly concerned. I just want to start that out because this is 1, 2, 3 full pieces once that piece is in there. Also added some spray foam underneath there, so there's a gap between the drywall, which is normal. Just there was stuff here by the time I got around to doing that, so then I went over here. So tomorrow morning I will cut that out. There's a couple more gaps up there I need to fill, but that's another. Gotta get ladders out for that, but I want to get this done. So tomorrow he'll put it at the base, and this will all be covered. I don't know what to do about that. Haven't really got there. That's supposed to be up there, so there's a little distance problem there. So these are these tubes go down to the basement so that you could run Ethernet as well as run a speaker wire up there and then come back over here so you can put a bookshelf speaker. And I'm seeing some bookshelf speakers up high than just a stereo. So you walk over. That's what the 110 volts is for. Which reminds me, you have to talk to him about putting some more outlets in here, because I'm sure that was the intention, is to have more outlets, and maybe I'll use that for an outlet, and then I'll forego the fact it's supposed to be up there, so it'll be a switched outlet maybe. I don't know. I got to figure out which switch goes there, because maybe one or none of them go over there. I don't know. So this is interesting. The wall's right there. So what that tells me is it's underneath the porch right here, which is probably why it's so freaking cold right here. So there's absolutely zero insulation from here, basically here to there. None's. I thought that this wall down here was over there because I was underneath there and I didn't measure it, because why would I ever thought that this would be in the outside? So at some point, I need to get back underneath there and insulate this. Well, that explains why it's cold. Again, I thought that was over there. This is the part where I put all the dirt underneath this summer, but there's still 1.5 feet down. I'm tempted to pull these up and see what the fuck's underneath there while I'm here. Oh, God damn it. Oh man, when I sealed all that, I could just feel air streaming through here. Great. How do I get to this if I can't? Wow. Okay, since the masonry comes back to at least here, at least this section here is open to the elements, so to speak, no insulation. So I'm going to go check and see if I have some plywood that's 3/4 that long. And I'm probably going to cut it back to right about here. I'm going to pull these boards out with the intention of just filling this whole section in. But of course, before I do that, I'm going to put insulation in there, which means probably I have to go to the store because I don't think I have any insulation. Wow, this is just... And I didn't build a trapdoor to get in there, and I really don't want to do that. This is all going to be covered. Oh, man. This is the time to do it. Well, I didn't expect it this today. So it's definitely outside. I can feel the nice air coming through. What I can do here is... Jesus fucking Christ. Just kind of shove bricks up there. Oh, fuck me. What I can do is put a piece of wood underneath here. And basically put a piece of foam board in there. Just kind of glue it in there with stuff. I didn't expect... I don't know what the fuck to do about that. So, yeah, didn't expect this. Over here, ironically, if I reach underneath, I feel this brick. So I'm going to just break this out and vacuum all this shit out, which is squirrel mouse house. I mean, there's literally acorns down there. and basically do the same thing. Now the masonry wall is right here, but there's nothing here except for that, which I can now see. So I want to just break this out. It's not holding anything up. If I just break this section out here, at least I can put some more insulation here. So it's in there. That's a hole down there. I don't know where it goes. Probably over to the other side, but not that far. So yeah, we're gonna break on this, put a 2x4 underneath there, just put foam in there and seal it just to get an air seal there. Probably do the same thing here, and then crap. I'm gonna have to go buy some insulation or find some insulation, just pack this shit out of it. But I don't know. I'm gonna have the foam over there too. What a clusterfuck, but it is seriously cold here, as you'd expect, because there's no freaking insulation. Damn, it's cold down there. So I got this piece of wood here, this piece of wood here. I'm next gonna go check the cats, because with my knock, they're not gonna be here. But the next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put a piece of wood in here, just kind of lay it down. A piece of plywood. I haven't quite figured out how I'm gonna do this. Just something to kind of fill the space, and then do the same thing over here, and put some spray foam in there, which is already making a mess, but we're gonna have to go get more because she's out. Okay, so I got this piece all the way back there. I'm gonna cover that little gap with this little piece in the back. I've got this piece in pretty good. I'm gonna go ahead and screw this in, screw this piece in, and then I've got to go get some of this, and I just got to go around and seal around it. So the wood there isn't for insulation. The wood's there to keep the rodents from getting in the insulation. Then I'm going to take some foam board. I'm going to push it in and spray foam that as well. I'm going to have to get a couple cans. Then I'm going to get some insulation. Depending on the time, I may just go upstairs into the garage and grab some out of the attic and just stuff this cavity full of insulation. Now I got some mineral wool downstairs, but right now the airflow is still flowing, but it's much reduced. Seeing there's not a big fucking hole in there. I did have to chip away the mortar here, so I get this to lay flat, but it's pretty good. And again, Mises, want to keep the Mises out. Don't need the Mises. They fuck up the insulation as well as do Mises things. Okay, emergency run at Home Depot, 3 cans of spray foam at $3.98 a piece, liquid nails, and some insulation. So we'll go back home. Maybe we'll stop at Taco Bell on the way. I don't know. Things happen. What a headache. So I'm almost ready to put insulation. I'm going to use loose fill to paper. But what you're seeing is a level plywood screwed to pieces across the bottom of the joist. Then spray foam on the outer, then spray foam, and then 2-inch EPS, mostly EPS that pieces in 2 inches, pushed in, then surrounded again another time. Then I'm going to fill it. Now this comes out to about here. The hollow part is about to here and here, so I'm trying to fill up the bottom and the rim because that's where the cold is, and this side. So I put lots of foam in this side. I also put these 2x6s here to support the floor, anything that goes here. I'm not sure if I'm going to use plywood, which was the goal, or not, and I'll probably put some 2x4s across here. That's the open basement, so we don't have to insulate that per se. So yeah, it's messy, but it should be mouse proofed or very mouse resistant. So I'm going to go grab some more foam. I really thought I was just filling in this. That's what I thought I was doing. Piece like that, piece like this, couple boards, done. So yeah, that didn't work out. Hopefully I have enough of the paper stuff. Paper stuff's also bug resistant. If a mouse eats it, they'll die. So that's good. And they don't like the taste, which is good too. So I'm a little confused how the electricians got that wire there, because they didn't come from below, since that's outside. I don't know how they did that. Probably drilled through every freaking 2x4. Bastards. So for reference, this is the hole upstairs, and this is the wall, and the other side of this is outside, and it continues on. Now, on the other side of the wall, it's at this length. It comes back. So it's just this section underneath here, but it is a good 2 feet deep. I haven't stuck my hand up here, but I'm sure there's stuff up there. Now I've put spray foam up there in the past, and you can see I've spray coated around here. Haven't done that. I could do that now. It's a lot more opener. I got a crap problem. I'm not sure if you could tell, but I got a lot of stuff down here. A lot of extras. But that's a story for another day. Okay, so I cut this piece out, the trimmed out, the one that was there was raggedy, and I put in this new piece with a good tongue. Got some spacers in there, and this is 63 3/4. I've added in some supports, as you can see. This was integral because this piece is very small and it's 2 pieces. I've got 3 to put in, and I think I'm gonna cut all 3 and kind of shove it in there. I got plenty of insulation in there. I tucked it back as far as I could. There's not much more I could do for what it is. So I tried to push it back as far as I could and compacted it pretty heavily. I don't feel cold breezes here anymore. I mean, it's not warm, but it ain't cold, and it was cold before.